Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and this is questions and answer for Windows 11 and Windows in general for 2022. Questions that people are asking for what's going to happen next year and how things are going to be, going on with all of this. So for Windows 10, of course, we continue having the Windows 10 operating system as a standard system that works great, and that will continue on. A lot of bad rumors or fake news on the net about, well, next year is the last year Windows 10 is supported. No, it's not. We have that date and had that date forever. It's the support for Windows 10 ends in 2025. So Gary, you got 4 years, okay? That means stop worrying about your PC or, whatever. 4 years is a long time for a computer. And so next year, there will be one big update, one feature update in the second half of the year. Once again, a lot of people are mixed up on that 21H2. When I see the comments and when I see people talking, it's like, but 21H2 is Windows 11. 21H2 is not a Windows version. It's when a version is released. So Windows 10 has 21H2 also. That's the latest update. It's just to say Windows 10 has an update that is the second half of 2021. Windows 11 also is from the second half of 2021. Next year, the big update is coming at the end of the year for Windows 11. Of course, a feature update for Windows 10 also. Now, don't expect that we have to wait, because that's what a lot of people are saying. So if we want to have some of the new features coming, we'll have to wait in the second half of next year. Not necessarily. I think Windows 11, every month there's going to be some updates. Every month there's going to be some bug fixing updates, but some features will appear. So as months go by next year, Windows 11 will start having some fixes to features that people are wanting to have, but they just don't. They will have new features that they talked about, but is not yet available. So as the year will go by, there will be added features. It's not all going to be just at one big update at the end of next year. But yes, there's going to be a big update next year at the end of the year, and that might bring a bunch of features together when it happens. Is Windows 11? That's the question that some of you have because of the trusted platform module, and many ask, is Windows 11 more secure than Windows 10? Honestly, I don't see, although Microsoft says yes, although some of the features and using the trusted platform module means that yes, technically it could be more secure. There's no real, that I personally don't see anything that points towards one is more secure than the other. For me, Windows 10 is actually quite secure already. So I would say I don't see why. Maybe at some point, if some software and some features use more of the hardware security features, okay, yeah, maybe. But it's not obvious, and it's not, we can't really see that for now. Maybe as time goes by, it's going to happen. Lots of people ranting at there's no 32-bit version of Windows 11. I am very okay with that, and I don't even see why Microsoft should bother making a 32-bit version. 32-bit is old technology. It is less secure technology, and that is one big reason why 32-bit is on the way out. There's no reason for 32-bit anymore, and every computer pretty much now can run 64-bit software, so there's really no reason for a 10-year-old computer to really run a 32-bit operating system. It's time to move on. Very important on that aspect, and that's for every operating system, and that's why pretty much everybody's killing 32 bits. It's old technology. It can't access a lot of stuff that newer technology and 64-bit technology can. And 64-bit technology is a much better way to go for security also. Will Microsoft back off to the minimum requirements in some way, maybe readjust it next year because they'll see that people are not upgrading? Look, technically, I don't see Microsoft backing off in any way. I think what they did as a back off that is available is they've accepted unsupported hardware to work, and that is their, that's where they went. They decided, well, let's have people with unsupported hardware still run Windows 11 for now, and that's the way they opened up Windows 11. For the rest, the TPM requirement is not going away. The the processor requirement, the generation of the processor, it's not going away, and I don't think that's going to change. That's it. It's going to stay like that. Some people saying, do you think Windows 11, or the question is, do you think Windows 11 is going to really take off in 2022? Look, I think personally Windows 11 is going to be an operating system that's just going to slowly gain momentum. And it will, get some market share in 2022. And as computers are changed, because some computers will be changed in 2022, people will buy new machines. There will be newer machines with Windows 11 installed on it. And that's going to slowly bring up the numbers. Plus, there will be people that haven't done it yet that might throughout the year, or even when the next big version of Windows 11 arrives next year, say, okay, I'm ready. I'm moving now to Windows 11. But I don't expect a big jump. So we were at close to 9% last time we checked. What do I expect at the end of next year? I'll be happy if they've reached 25%, a quarter for all Windows PCs. I think it's going to be a slow progress. And I think a lot of it has to do also with the fact that, Windows 10 is mature. Windows 10 works great. And for most people, there's no real appeal to move on to Windows 11. That's all. And it's okay. And you know what? You don't have to have Windows 11. And when it goes through and when more people use it, well, it's going to take that slow momentum. Other question: how long will Windows 11 last and be supported, and so on? We haven't seen much detail about the support length of Windows 11 right now. We have no idea of when and how long Windows 11 is going to exist. Windows 10 lasted 6 years before the release of a new version. So, Windows 11 could last the next 5, 6, 7 years before whatever happens. Windows 12. We'll see. And, I'm not even sure Microsoft knows itself what's next. Windows 11 has been done in such a pretty rapid and fast way. It seems to be a last-minute decision that wasn't there maybe a year or two ago. And Windows 11 could be the same. It could be lasting a long time. It could be suddenly updated to something else. The other questions about Windows 11 is Windows 11 a Vista. I see a lot of people saying that, or I see a lot of people saying, Windows is always a bad, good, bad, good, bad. There were some bad Windows, obviously. One of them, Windows Millennium, for those that remember that wasn't a very good one. Windows Vista was at the start, before the service pack, not fantastic, but it came out of a kind of a catastrophe. They were working on something else. It just didn't work out, and they kind of rushed to Windows, and Vista was not great. Um, a lot of people ranting on Windows 8. Windows 8's major problem is not Windows 8. It's the fact that Microsoft, for some reason, decided that a start menu is unused, something we won't use anymore. We're all going to have touch screens and tablets, which was a very, very wrong way of thinking. So people went crazy when the start menu disappeared. But beyond that, Windows 8 isn't actually bad. I've used Windows 8 a lot on a touchscreen. It's actually the best touch screen operating system for Windows, and I still think so. For a desktop that was not a touch device, that was the problem, and yeah, that wasn't the best idea in the world. But it was very stable, and Windows 8.1 still works today. Is Windows 11 a Vista or a Windows 8? I don't think so. Windows 11 is unfinished. It feels unfinished for the first version we have right now, but it's far from a Windows Vista. People saying it crashes and all of that. Remember that if you're unsupported hardware, you might have crashes that some people with supported hardware don't see. Remember also that if you've updated or forced updated and didn't wait for it to arrive, you might need new drivers or updated drivers for all of it to work well. There could be some software that's incompatible, stuff like that. It is very important to understand that. On all the machines I have it on, it works great. I have absolutely no crashes, no problems. And the majority of people, from what I see, do not have crashes or problems. They have weird issues with the fact that there are some things that aren't working right. But they're not bugs. They're just that some features are not implemented. It's as simple as that. And for the rest, it for me and for what I see on the different blog posts, it doesn't crash more than Windows 10 or anything. But the people that you hear all the time are the ones that talk about how they have problems. That's the people you hear about, not the ones that have no problems. Are people flocking to Linux or Mac OS? Well, nope. And there's no numbers to indicate anything like that. And there will not be a flock to Windows, to Mac or Linux. When I see people saying, "Well, I'm taking my decision to move to an Apple machine," it's like it just shows for me. It just shows a lot of ignorance on how computers work. Apple machines aren't better. I don't know why people think so, and aren't actually necessarily less problematic. As a tech guy, I've seen enough people with problems on Mac that it doesn't show me. And if you look at the blog posts of how many people are having problems at every update of a new OS, ain't that much different from Windows. But Mac people are, less inclined to say they had a problem most of the time. And, I'm not bashing Apple. If you have a Mac and you're happy, that's all that counts, honestly. I've had some MacBook Pros when I was a tech guy, and I know I'll never buy a Mac again. That's me, and I don't even see why I should pay such a high price for a machine that is uninteresting. And personally, I don't think people are going to a Mac if they're not going to Windows 11 or they're not happy. They're just simply going to other things. It could be a Chromebook, but it could be the biggest, and I'll say it again, the biggest loser for Windows, the biggest fear that Microsoft should have is people simply getting out of the PC in general. If you're not somebody that works with a computer, they might move on to a tablet, be it an Android or an iPad, or it could be just their phones. That is much more where the danger is. People getting out of the PC side of things. And that also is the same problem with Mac. Apple computers, people are not going to flock to Windows or anything. They're just going to flock to, I'm dropping out of buying a PC. I don't know why I'm buying a $1,500 computer for what I'm doing, because it can be done with my phone or tablet. And no, they're not going to Linux, because Linux users think that people should go to Linux. It's easy. It's not. And Linux users are in a fantasy world when they think that people are moving to Linux or will move to Linux. They're going to drop out. When we look at market shares, Mac in the past 2-3 years is the same market share, around 8%. Linux, same market share, roughly 2%. Hasn't budged, and it's not even moving now. It's something that is just not. People are in their system. You're a Mac user in general, you're a happy Mac user, and you stay at the Mac side. You're a Linux user, you're a happy Linux user, and you stay on Linux. Windows users that are happy Windows users stay on Windows. It's generally like that. And if you look at 10, 20 years, pretty much no change. The only market share removal that Windows had was not for a Mac or for Linux. It was to the hands of other things like Android or Chromebooks. And that is where people are taking some Windows people out. So, it's kind of interesting. The way people think and see their own market share, their own things. And I'm not because some people will say, "Oh, you're a Windows fanboy." I'm not a Windows fanboy. I love Windows because of its flexibility, which is great. It is way better than Mac or Linux in all of the things you can do, because you obviously have way more access to everything with a Windows machine. And you got to take out the just standard average user here. The average user that doesn't do much does all of that and would do it on a Mac computer or on a Linux machine. A power user will do it on Windows and will need Windows for it. And remember, a lot of the Windows numbers that doesn't change, because people forget this, is that 80% of the Windows market and the Windows machines are business machines. And those machines are staying on Windows because that's where business is and goes. Apart from that, where do I see some big improvements, changes in Windows 10 in the next year? No, but I don't see zero changes. I see that there could be some apps, some things that might show up that aren't that might be on Windows 11 also. But there's not going to be big changes. Don't expect to have big changes at all. And so this is going to be interesting to see how things go in the future. And 2022, I think, is going to be an interesting year to look at what direction Microsoft and Windows are going, and the tech market and the tech industry in general. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.